Now, firstly, welcome to VR Mondays. Thank you so much for everyone who's been sticking around and watching all the VR videos and exploring different stadiums with me. Stadiums that you may never have heard of, that are a little bit unusual. So thank you if you've been watching all of them. And if you haven't, make sure you check back at the old ones. Now, today we're going to stay in England and the home of football, Wembley Stadium. Enjoy. We are looking down Wembley Way at Wembley Stadium, the home of football. Now, Wembley Stadium, it's obviously not the original Wembley Stadium because the old one had two towers and instead now it's got a huge arch. But we're looking down Wembley Way at the 90,000 seater stadium. And it is a joy to behold it. I don't know what outsiders from the other countries think. How well do you know Wembley Stadium if you're not from England? That's the question. But you've got to imagine thousands and thousands of people walking along Wembley Way, up the ramp into the stadium for a game of football. Whether that's an England game, whether that's a cup final game, FA Cup, League Cup, the English Football League Cup as well, which is the only time I have been to Wembley Stadium. It was called the Johnson's Paint Trophy at the time. It's now the Papa John's Trophy, I think. But it was Southampton versus Carlisle, the only time I've been. And if I can, I will show you the spot where I sat and see if what you think of the views. But let's have a little look. I would love to see a crowded Wembley Way. Looking there. Well, it's not crowded. But the train station is down there. And people walk all the way up with Wembley in the sights. Let's see if we can get how far up we can go. So you'd be walking up, getting closer and closer, the arch getting even bigger. And I've said this in plenty of other stadium videos. I really like it when there's a ramp or there's stairs to get up to the stadium because it makes the stadium look grand. It makes it look bigger than it is. So I think that's a really, really good thing. You'd walk up those ramps up there. Sadly, there isn't any with packed with lots of people. Oh, there we go. Look, thousands and thousands of people down Wembley Way, all coming off the train. I wonder what game this is. England versus someone. Is it Denmark? Looks like England versus Denmark if I'm right. But there we go. And you get to the top of the ramp and there are the steps. And look how much bigger the stadium looks because you have to approach it going up the stairs. And there have been a few like that I've looked at. And I think it just makes the stadium, as I said, look grand and bigger and more amazing almost. More of a spectacle to look at. I don't think I can step up there. Now, the time that I came, I didn't actually come up Wembley Way. I came from this side. Which side did I even come up? I came up from this side here. And I remember because I've got a picture of me standing right there. Let's have a look. Yeah, standing right by that pillar, leaning against it with some Carlisle fans. They've obviously tried around the stadium. They've obviously tried modernising it a little bit. As you can see, they've got Wagamamas and the food places and the cinema. They seem to have tried modernising it from outside. But here we go, there's the view. I love that you can see, it's glass all the way around and so you can see in. And you can see through the glass, you can quite often see the elevators because they have elevators and stairs going in so people can get to the top tiers because obviously with 90,000, yeah, you need a fair few steps to get all the way to the top. I don't know if they're escalators or if they're steps. They look like escalators, to be honest. It's funny actually because from here it doesn't look that big. It doesn't look like it would be 90,000 Maybe it does. Maybe it does. It's I suppose when you're actually right in front of it. Let's see if we can see from a bit further. Imagine having Wembley Stadium at the back of your garden. Imagine living in one of these houses and literally in your back garden you have that huge Wembley Stadium arch, and I don't think actually I'd want to live there. Yeah, there is no chance I'd want to live there because on match days it would be an absolute nightmare. But it's quite cool to think that you could literally look out the back garden, out your back bedroom window, and see Wembley Stadium. Now, I think from Wembley Way, the views are great. You know, you're looking up, you can see the arch, but actually, most of the other sides, it's not a great view. Like here, it's not a great view, is it? It almost looks like it could be a shopping centre. There isn't anything special. I think the only special view is... Oh, God. I'll tell you what. I wonder if I can get a view from up the top of here. I don't think I can I? That would be good. But I don't think I can. Yeah, I think the only real good view of the stadium from the outside is... Look, here it is. It's not that great. It's actually quite disappointing if you're not coming up Wembley Way. I think Wembley Way is the only real good view. Yeah, I think Wembley Way is probably the only quite cool view. Let me double check this side, just to make sure. It's even there. Is it? It's not that nice, is it? I'm only realising this now. Wembley Way view is brilliant, and all the other sides not so much. Anyway, something I did realise this, which is quite cool. Where Google has updated quite well certain locations, I can actually Google stop. Yeah, speaker's trying to talk to me. So actually, I sat on the second tier, and this is where I sat to watch the game at Wembley. Southampton versus Carlisle. Okay, Google, stop. No idea what he's even saying. Anyway, so I was sat here on the second, on the second tier. There's where the players come out and the dugout's on the other side. I remember Ricky Lambert scoring down on the opposite side. Now from here, we're on the second tier here, and actually, I did feel it was quite far away. I could see everything fine, but considering you're not massively far away, you feel far away. And it was roughly here. Yeah, you know, this is an NFL game, but yeah, you feel quite far away. I don't know what it would be like sitting right at the top. Let's try and get some on the pitch. Let's see what we can get on the pitch, shall we? No, we're definitely not on the pitch. I do not want NFL rubbish. Let's get some good pictures. Well, here we are. Just come out the dugouts, look. Let's have a look. Let's turn around. It's funny because down here it doesn't actually look ridiculously far away, but I can tell you when you're up there, well, see, that does look quite far away. When you're up the top, you might as well be watching ants. And that is the problem with some stadiums. When they get bigger and bigger, you can hardly see anything. So that's a real issue, I think, in stadiums, especially when they get to such a size. You know, it's such a size where it's just too big, because the views from the furthest away, you know, you wouldn't be expecting to pay a lot surely for this. Hang on, I need to work out where I am. Oh, I'm here. Now, what do you think of Wembley Stadium? If you've been there, let me know. If you haven't, what do you think? It's got a retractable roof, which is always a nice thing to have, I think, in bad weather. Now, what you do find is you've obviously got 3 levels. 1, 2, 3. On the first level, the seats are not very steep. It's a very gradual incline, very gradual. But then the second tier is a little bit steeper because obviously you're going further back, and they're obviously trying to get it so you're not ever too far away. And then as you see at the top, it gets very, very steep. If you're afraid of heights, then you're probably not best to go right at the top. Now, let's see if we can get some more views. What can we find? We got concert. They do concerts here. Fingers crossed we will get some boxing with Tyson Fury and AJ fighting at Wembley. That would be ideal when they finally get to actually doing it. Who is that even? I can't even see the sign. See, that's the problem, isn't it? You sit all the way back here and you're not even that far back. But if you're here, I can hardly see what's going on over there. That is so far away. That is the problem with such big stadiums, you know. And here we're right at the front of the stands. So a bit of an issue, I think. A bit of an issue. So what are we on? Oh, we are right at the front of the third. Yeah, we're right at the front of the third tier. There's obviously there's a league cup match, which is like the second level cup competition, and they've obviously got, it was obviously Liverpool because they've changed. How have they done it? I'm trying to work out how they've done it. They must. They've just put. What is it? They've just put like bits of paper or looks like bags to make the sense. So they've obviously changed it. So we're Never Walk Alone for the Liverpool, and then Blue Moon. Blue Moon is Manchester City, if I'm right. So that's quite cool. That's cool that they've actually done that for an occasion, just to spice it up a little bit, add to the fans' feelings for the match and the atmosphere. So that's a real nice touch, actually, to be fair. But how far, is this a good view for everyone? We're a third tier up, right at the front of the third tier. How does that feel for you guys? Now, granted, you're looking on a screen and I'm in VR and we're not officially there. I don't know. You can clearly see everything. It may be different if you're in the corners or in the corner over there, because looking all the way down into the opposite corner, it's that extra distance. I still wouldn't want to be all the way at the top. No way would I want to be at the top. You can clearly see everything. In most positions, because a lot of these modern stadiums, they're not having squared off corners. They're having kind of an oval shape into the corners, which allows for better viewing. A lot of the squared off cornered stadiums, there's dead spots where you can't see very well. But with these, you should be able to have a clear view wherever you are, unless you've got a really tall person in front of you. I want to see lots of people. That's what I want a view of. Here we go. So this is, we're about halfway-ish. Yeah, halfway-ish on the first tier. What's this? Liverpool versus Barcelona. Now, what do you think of this view? There's another problem in stadiums like this, though. Because what you've got is, as I said, the first tier is very shallow. It's not very steep. Trying to now see that far goal is quite tricky. And what you end up having, because you're so level with the pitch almost, you almost have to end up looking through players. So it's trying to find a balance. It really is trying to find a balance between how well you can actually see the players and the pitch and the goal and, you know, players scoring. It's a real tricky one to find, with mixing with trying to get as many people in a stadium as possible and making it as big as possible. It's a tricky one, and they have certainly tried. I understand where they've come from. Let's see if we can get one more view. Let's see if we can get one more good view, that is. That's a rubbish view. I want one with lots of people. Hello, what's going on? No, that's a view we just had. I wonder if we can get a bird's eye. Some of these stadiums you can get a really good bird's eye view, but probably not. Oh, Jesus. So here we are. Yeah. Right at the top. Right at the top, more or less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 5 or 6 from the top. Would you pay good money to sit here? Now, granted, the pitch isn't the greatest picture, but that's probably in keeping with the fact that you're so far away. Is this somewhere you would want to sit? Where in this stadium would you want to sit? Would you want to sit on the first, the second, or the third tier? That's a tricky one. That is a real tricky one. So, there we are. Wembley Stadium, the home of football. What are your thoughts? Have you visited Wembley Stadium? Is it a stadium that you would love to go and visit? Let me know in the comments down below. If there's any other stadiums from around the world, let me know once again in the comments. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, and don't forget to subscribe. We're very close to that 10k mark. I'll catch you next time.